eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Looking to the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me. Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Looking to the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me. Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Looking to the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you.
Good evening, everybody. Let's get started. All right. So, full disclosure, I am currently have some contractors at the house, and they are working on my roof. So, they are supposed to be done soon, but we might hear some banging coming through to the stream. For that, I apologize, but we'll try to make do. You know. All right. So, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Let's take a look at our insurance. We got some gas welders back. I think that's probably the gas welders that I ditched. Let's do some stash cleanup. As you can see, I've kind of been crafting a whole bunch during the day. It's kind of typically what I do. My job is, I'm lucky enough to have kind of a job that allows me to kind of tool around a little bit while I am working. So I kind of get to, sometimes I'll get a scab in or two, especially if it's early wipe. I may scab in between my normal duties as time allows, but for the most part, I don't I just kind of sit here. I'll start a couple crafts every here and there in between calls, stuff like that. Let's see. So as you can kind of see, we've got kind of a little bit of a meme kit today. We'll cover that in a second. After we get done. We got we're gonna be using another corn. Again, it's as I said yesterday, it's a pretty cheap level 5. I don't mind, you know, doesn't hurts a lot less to lose. I got an MPV just for kind of needed a little bit of storage to run this. The star of our show tonight, which is this hilarious PP19 9x19 Vitiaz. So this is basically, this is a Russian version of MP5. It fires 9mm, uses, you know, very similar parts, like the same suppressor. It's just, you know, there's some AK parts to it, right? Like the biggest one being like the Zenit lock stock charging handle. That's often used on AKs. Uses the same grip, which there it is. Use the same grip. So we'll be using that for our kind of our first raid of the day. And again, I'm gonna repeat the mission statement. We are trying to learn, right? We're learning with a Mimi kit, but we are still trying to learn. Reserve. Get to this. As you can see, Reserve actually used to be one of my favorite maps, but because of the audio issues this wipe, I've actually not used a whole lot of, I've not really run a whole lot of Reserve this wipe, just because like it's really, the audio there is really hard to handle right now, to a pretty astounding degree, and it's disappointing because it's kind of, it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun map, but I've just not enjoyed myself every single time I've gone there. I've had a lot of issues with audio and stuff like that, so it's, you know, I've not been really running it as much this wipe. Let's go try out this. Oh, sorry. I'm going to also turn on music or game volume for Tarkov. You guys get that sweet audio from this glorious game. So the only thing that kind of sucks about using this is that you're pretty limited on mags. There's basically only one mag for this. One mag that you'd kind of use, right? You got a 30, a 20, or a 10, right? You obviously, like, these are so cheap, you kind of wouldn't want to use anything else if you're gonna run this gun. Again, this is a pretty ridiculous gun. You know, I would say that honestly the MP5 is probably strictly better. Maybe the stats are a little bit better, but because you can run the larger mag sizes on the MP5, I would say just, if you're gonna do something like this, just run the MP5. It's not that big of a deal. So, I'm sure we're not gonna really cover too much of our kit, other than I've got a couple of, you know, about 150 rounds of PST that we're gonna load into these bad boys. Got some AP63 in the butt if we start running into a lot of MCs that I need to start top loading. I need to start loading a couple of rounds of AP63 into the top, but for the most part we are here to kind of just do a loot run, get warmed up before we do some streets. Hopefully we're gonna get a couple more rounds of streets this way tonight. Move a little bit faster. We probably won't do as... I'm trying to decide the flow of this, because the problem with doing breakdowns and self-analysis is it kind of eats up into a lot of time. And for these weekday streams, it's very, very difficult for me to stay on too long. Mostly because like today, I'm just tired. I'm just really, really tired. The contractors came in pretty early. They were supposed to start at 7, and they came at 6. I had been intending to get a little bit more sleep, and then of course, you know, I didn't get a workout today because I was pretty busy at work, chasing some stuff down, putting out fires, and attending meetings. So very, very difficult for me to. A little bit difficult for me to do long streams. On top of that, you know, I've got family obligations, but you know, in spite of that, we're gonna try to stay somewhat regular during the week, at least an hour and a half, 2-hour streams, and then, you know, when I want to try to make sure we're fitting as much kind of educational stuff and doing as much vocalization of what I'm doing as much as I can during these. Now, maybe on the weekends we do a little bit more kind of super deep analysis, kind of like what I did last night with one of those fights. Or maybe if it's just a super long fight where I want to kind of break down every single step that I made, maybe we'll only do those, because otherwise, you know, we're just going to be stuck here for, you know, we'll get like 1 or 2 raids in, and you guys will get kind of like one good analysis, which, you know, that's time and raid is kind of the key, is the biggest key to learning this game, is you just want to raid often. Specifically, you want to PMC often, so that way you're getting that time in. If it's kind of an interesting way to think about it, but if you're kind of like a fitness person, or you enjoy working out, or you enjoy training for things, you kind of know that like the idea of time spent training kind of is a direct correlation to how well your performance is. Whether you lift or you run, you do combat sports, you do anything, right? Time spent doing something over and over again is kind of what equates to success for the most part, right? Like that's kind of like the easiest thing to point out and go, you've been doing this so much that this has become rote, right? This has become easy. This game's not much different. I feel like I see a lot in the community of like, how do I get good at this game? How do I get better? How do I get to the point where I'm not scared of losing gear anymore? It's like, well, the answer is you basically just have to do it, right? I know sometimes I feel like that's so condescending to say, but there's no other way to get around it. You just have to keep running raids, and you have to lose gear, and you have to get shot in the face. You have to get shot in the face by everybody. You have to lose limbs. You have to you have to make mistakes, and you have to make plays. It doesn't, and to an extent, this is somewhat a problem that I have sometimes, some days especially, where, you know, I've had 1 or 2 bad raids, and I'm just sitting there looking at my stash, and I'm just sitting there going, man, it's so, like, this game can be so mentally exhausting and draining that I don't know if I want to just do another raid. So I just sit in my stash, and I reorganize my stash, and I keep crafting, and maybe I run a scav, and it just feels like, and before you know it, an hour and a half has passed by, and I've done nothing but maybe run scavs and reorganize my stash, right? And it's just like, man, what have I done? And yeah, and even some maps, sometimes it's difficult. You know, sometimes I only really want to just chill out and loot, you know, kill a couple scavs, do a couple loot runs. So I just kind of play woods, and it's easier to get caught in that kind of comfortable state where you're just running stuff that you know. In fact, like, part of the personal goal of the stream for me is to do stuff that I'm not comfortable with. You know, maybe one of these days we don't do a woods we don't do like a woods intro raid, we do a customs raid, right? Or maybe we go do reserve. You know, maybe we just go do reserve one day as a start, and just be like, all right, screw it, we're gonna try to do that instead, because there's just too many. I want to get better at this game, whether getting better means that, like, I just have better knowledge, I at least know the play. I may not necessarily have the mechanical skill to execute it perfectly, but at least I know what I was thinking was the correct thing to do. That's kind of my advice to anybody out there who's watching this in past, future, present, right? Is you don't necessarily, you're not the most cracked gamer. Maybe you're like me, you're a 32-year-old man, who's got children, got a life. You know, you only play this game hour and a half to, you know, at best three hours, you know, a day, 4 hours a day, and you just like, I just want to get to the point where I feel like I am accomplishing something whenever I get into my raids, and that is a completely fine goal to have. I did not even have a weight on that. That's nuts. I think because it loaded me into the raid late. Alright, so we are between Ruined Village and Overlook. Overlook's up there. Where are extracts? We gotta wrap down... Okay, so we have to wrap down towards outskirts. Oh, I do not like the sound of these headphones. Did my gun not make noise? I'm a little concerned about that. We might be changing our headphones. I don't know if that's the headphones or what. No. Oh god, that's terrible. I'm never using these headphones ever again. You know, I got these out of a scav case, and I thought maybe it was like, oh, give them a try. They used to be decent headphones, right? They're bad headphones now. Chonkas are pretty good loot right now. They're still selling fairly well due to the barters for BT. I think people are still having... I think there's a lot of kind of new people starting at the end of the wipe, so... Yeah, I don't know if I like the audio on these. I feel like they might muffle too much. Definitely take a lot of the sharpness out, but I feel like almost takes too much audio out. Yeah, they definitely feel very, very muffled. Like, everything just seems dampened. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Plenty, yeah. On this. Now, if we run into the Bloodhounds, we're kind of fucked. They will smoke me, because I definitely do not have good ammo loaded into these mags right now. The AP63 is only really there to top load if we end up getting in a fight. Otherwise, I would like to use this EST. I guess I could just shoot them in the head, right? Always a solution to things. I feel like there's so many people who are just like, yeah, just... It's good ammo. Just shoot them in the head. So like, what? We're using buckshot and just shoot them in the head. Not a good reason to use ammo. Not at all. I kind of like this. Kind of a nice, a fun little gun. It's nice and snappy because the ergo on it is so low or so high. You got 64 ergo, and because it's a, and you got 27 vertical recoil on it. I do think we'll have to go and check. I'm actually interested in knowing. I think if it's just like the kind of like the comparison between an M4 and an AK, other than, you know, the caliber of the bullet. this one might fire slower, and it definitely feels like it fires slower than an MP5, but it means that it's very, very controllable. Like, I feel like you could definitely use this as a really good kind of, like early mid wipe gun. You know, whenever you don't have a whole lot of recoil control. And, you know, just kind of aim in the headspace sort of deal. And as long as you kind of aim in their general area of their head, you might actually do pretty well. It's also like it's just nice. Like it kind of snaps really, really well. Because it's light too, you can kind of use this in very, very speedy kits. I say speedy kits and we're running a Corn. Yeah, I don't know if I like these headphones. They just feel, everything just feels really muted. Those are Minds by USEC, I think. Hear something? I don't think it was him. Guess we're just gonna have lots of loot today. So we do have to be aware that we heard an explosion by USEC. So we know that there's likely going to be somebody there. We need to keep that in mind. So one of the things that you will need to learn in Tarkov is you need to kind of listen for, and this is why like audio is so important. Why so many people kind of bitch about audio is that because this game is not very friendly with regards to what HUD elements are given to you. Like there's no radar or anything like that. You don't even get friend or foe indicators most of the time. So you have to be very, very careful about what noises you hear because, you know, I know that there are mines by USEC, right? We know there are mines on, you know, the orientation that I'm facing would be towards the bottom of the map. We'll call it south. So the mines are going to be on the right side. So somebody approached from the right side and hit mines. You know, which would be, there's another explosion, right? Probably more mines. We need to be aware of that. Now, with that information, do we want to fight? Do we want to avoid it completely? You know, we know he's going to be on the right side, and we know he's going to burn through some meds, too, because he hit the mines. We know he's going to probably be that way. So we need to be cognizant of that. Now, we're not going to run. We're going to walk up there. We're going to see if we can catch our man here. Yep, he's here. we go. Yeah, I don't like these headphones. These headphones suck. Don't know if he had a friend. I don't think he had a friend. So, I was a little bit scary. I probably almost lost that because of this gun, but that's okay. He kind of tried to play it smart. He tossed that flash grenade and tried to kind of flank out over to the side. I could have taken my hand off of the keyboard there and tried to pop my morphine stim on 7, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep moving and shifting over. I didn't want to be, because the way that we were kind of standing, it was not a good time for me to stop moving, because I would have stopped moving right in the middle of the encampment with no cover. That's always really dangerous, right? So instead, I just kind of kept. I turned my flashlight on, swung him, so that way I can. Data. DH. Okay. So that way we can kind of swing and continue to get an angle on, like kind of redraw the angle, make him think twice, especially because, like, you know, he had an ADAR. You know, that has enough range that it can be problematic. Although he doesn't have a very good scope, so I wasn't as not as worrying as if he had like something really, really nasty, but. Also caught him a little bit with his pants down. I don't think he was expecting us to be there on top of your stuff, but I am going to keep this ADAR though. Why? Because I can. Oop. Can move it all the way. You can see kind of where I shot him up. A lot of bullets flew past him. And he wasn't actually expecting me. I think he was actually in his inventory. I probably could have taken my time a little bit and just popped him in the head, but I kind of was like, I'm in a position to lose this if I don't immediately start lighting him up. So I lit him up. He was bleeding. I think he was probably bleeding quite a bit. Did he bounce around? Yeah, he didn't bounce around or anything like that. He was wearing a Karasa though. A pretty decent level. Pretty decent armor for stopping PST, hilariously enough. But most people would probably be using PST at this point, and you know, using armor that would stop PST well enough at this point. So that's not really of a surprise that he, you know, I was able to dump a whole mag into him, and he just kind of limps away. Good on him though. If he had kept honestly, if he had kept fighting, he probably could have won. Very, very easily could have won. But yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, he was watching. That sucks. Let's see, what did he kill me with? Volcominator. Thorax me. What do you use? M61. Yeah, so punched right through that corn. Watching the... Yeah, I don't have it. I didn't have a deep scope. I ran across. I should have looked across to that kind of ditch area to see if there was anything there. That's okay. Fun raid though. I'm wondering if I should turn on the streamer mode on this. Nah, that doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Ain't nobody here gonna watch, come and stream snipe me, I don't think. All right, let's see here. Do we want to do some streets? That is the... Let's see. It's 8 o'clock now. Ooh, what's going on here? Need that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so let's do some let's do some more streets then. Might as well. So we're gonna use, so we'll talk about this in a second. Let me finish kitting up. Huey boys. So you know what's really funny about that engagement was every single time I've done a woods raid, we've talked about like how I've kind of not really had a mid-range engagement. It's either long or very, very close. That would conceivably be considered a mid-range engagement. And I lost it because the biggest reason I probably lost that one was because I didn't have a I did not have a deep enough scope to really challenge. Isn't that funny? Funny how that's sometimes the irony comes swinging in. Open one. All right, let's see. Face mask. And Nate. Set my crafts here real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm actually gonna need to figure out a better transition from that USEC camp to another area. I feel like that run down, that's not the first time I've been caught in that run up to that mountain with the short or long, or you know, any sort of gun, any sort of range that I'm preparing for. I've been caught there multiple times, and I feel like because of the way that kind of valley is positioned, maybe I need to figure out, maybe I need to run, if I'm transitioning from USEC down towards outskirts, I need to run more left. Go at it from that way. Kind of like that idea. Might be something to try on a offline. If I'm not streaming. Or maybe we'll just try it whenever I am streaming. I don't know. We'll find out. But, okay. We'll set that up. That's good enough for now. Some raids. Mm. If you guys just heard that, that was my doorbell / ring. Oh, we were going to talk about my choice of gun. I am a big fan of the Scar. Especially the 308 version. I don't... Stat-wise, it almost looks like... I think the MDR is actually a better gun stat-wise. But for whatever reason, I just don't... Especially this wipe, they changed something with the recoil... not the recoil numbers, but the way that the MDR jumps from that center line that that you maintain whenever you're ADS. There's just something that that it feels off about it. I used to like it before this wipe, but I don't know if maybe they changed. I know a couple of content creators noticed that, especially ones that were fans of the DTMDR. They just said that it's like, yeah, it feels off. Like they didn't like how it felt. And I kind of echoed the same thing because I used it and I was like, man, I think one time actually I did a fight on woods with a MDR, and I feel like whenever I shot it, I feel like whenever I lost the fight, the reason was because of the MDR and the way that it kind of kicked, right? Very, very strange. Whereas with the Scar, I've had... First of all, I just like the look of it. I like the look of the Scar. I like the customization on the barrel and stuff. And I like that you can kind of turn this into a shorter barreled kind of like CQB rifle, or you can make it a little bit longer, extend it out. And on, you know, I just like the look of it. I think it's a really cool looking gun. All right. And win. Let's see. So we spawned in Pinewood. This is over by the Promovsky extract, which I did not bring a damn flare again. I always forget to. There's a couple of locker rooms in here. I never remember which ones. Kind of interesting that I actually keep getting this, like, this kind of north spawn. It's kind of nice. Oh. Can't wear the glorious mask and a helmet at the same time. But it's kind of interesting that I actually get this spawn so often. I feel like whenever I play, the more I play solo, the more I get these northern spawns versus the southern ones. But whenever I play with a team, I get more of the southern ones. Just kind of casually make our way through. What are my extracts? Collapse crane, evac zone, Klimov Street. Put money in there. Oh, I looted this. I went somewhat backwards. Killa spawns over here, so I'm kind of wary. Juicing. Elevator. I have to remember that this elevator doesn't go anywhere. Something in here. Something else? Straight for sugars. Not a whole lot going on. I heard that shooting earlier. Whoops. And now nothing. Not a whole lot going on here. And just slowly making our way. Let's repack these. Kind of just exploring at this point. I feel like I don't spend enough time sometimes exploring these maps. I'm gonna go back in here.
Вон он, блядь!
Guys are definitely spawning quick. I don't know how close that is. That's another problem that I have with streets right now, is because I don't really... It's such a huge map.
Ты куда пошел?
Now, is he shooting at me or is he shooting at something else? I'm not getting a whole lot of audio cues here, too. Run on the back side. I don't want to run on that front side. That scared the crap out of me. Didn't like that. Didn't even realize they could shoot. They could be up there. Who pooped my pants? Criminal. Heard that this is actually a really good place to always loot because it's a med spawn, so you can potentially find like lead X's and stuff. Actually, I feel like that's a lot of errors. I definitely feel like my performance is starting to suffer. I wonder if it is spawning because of the scav spawns. It is slowly hurting my performance. Oh yeah. So we're about to cross into an area called Pig. It's a little bit. You guys saw me die here before. I think last night's stream. The audio here is challenging, to say the least. Still having some trouble kind of adjusting. Let's get up on top of that roof. Nothing here so far, I don't think. Thing seems to have gone this way so far. There. I think that was a flare from Ofsky. You just barely missed somebody. We got to make our way kind of across the map, so we're going to go ahead and kind of dip out. We got a decent amount of stuff. Not 100% sure. Couldn't see. Skybridge key while we're here. All right, kind of home stretch here. This is somewhat dangerous, so we're coming up on an area that's also another hotspot. There's a lot of player activity here, usually because of the Check 15. And we like going in there alone, just because it's kind of hard to fight your way out. Ow.
Ну где ты, а?
Alright, let's leave. Probably attracted a lot of attention there. Turn your head. Not bad. Oh. That was blunt. Okay, that was a slug. I could have cleared that out a little bit better. So a little bit of a took us past some hot spots. I didn't really hear anything. I potentially could have gotten greedier and gone a little bit harder on the loot, but I feel like we had gotten some pretty good stuff in the bag, so I was kind of just getting out. Just get out and take our money and run sort of deal, especially because we didn't survive that many times yesterday. It's one of those things where sometimes you just need a win. But we got out with some stuff. So I picked up the Cordura and the Ripstop because they've been kind of selling a little bit high. They're not normally things that you would pick up. You kind of just pick them because like they might be filler for your bag. This particular case, they've been selling high, so decent ruble per slot to take right now. We're filling this up, so this will probably get emptied and sold tonight. All right, play some music. I'm gonna chat with my wife real quick. do that. It's always interesting. So this is kind of the interesting thing with selling stuff on the flea is you almost always want to check, right? So that sells for right now. I could potentially make anywhere from 60 to 70-ish thousand rubles from it. You can look. It sells for 23 right here. Now, some people like to sell with a quick profit, and sometimes they'll even do this for. Sometimes they'll even do this for scav guns, but certain guns, like I know this SV, like SVDs are actually kind of people kind of end up buying them off the flea because of the there's a couple tasks in the game that ask you to plant those SVDs or use them or something like that. So you almost always want to check and just make sure that they don't sell, like a gun like that doesn't sell well on the flea at any durability, right? Because there's probably a number of low durability ones that just still sell on the flea because, again, it's needed for a couple of tasks, so it almost stays relevant most of the wipe in terms of sell value. Some might have actually just bought it, and that's kind of like that's kind of my secret to actually today. Small accomplishment. We got up to 5 flea market rep, which comes at 60, or 5 flea market offers, which comes at 60 flea market rep. This is really interesting, and a lot of my friends that I play with, they're like, "Man, like you must grind this game super hard." I was like, "No, I kind of just know, like, I kind of just make sure I look and see what can I sell and what makes a lot of money at the time that I have it." There are some items that some people just straight up sell to the traders for no real reason other than they think that it's not going to make the money on the flea, and then you go and check and you go, actually, that fluctuates quite a bit. Like, that'll hit super huge highs at certain times of the day, like this paid, right? Like this easily, like that can easily be 15k per slot, and if you don't have anything better, right, it's completely fine to take it. It's completely reasonable to pick this up and take it out of raid if you don't have anything else, especially if you're running in a group. You got to start you kind of have to start getting, especially people who loot fast or know where all the loot is, you have to start getting kind of creative about what you carry out of your raids, and kind of start getting used to kind of spinning shit in the gold sort of deal. It's a nice exercise too, because it keeps you aware of it helps a lot early on in the wipe whenever you don't have the very, very easily. I'm pretty sure this is trashed. That is trashed. We're gonna take that, sell that. It helps really, really a lot in the early wipe because you don't have things like moonshine and bitcoins to sell for profit. Your hideout's usually going to be at a lower level, and you're going to have issues surviving in your raids. So, you gotta start thinking out of the box a little bit on how to make money. Some people just use scavs, which, that's perfectly valid. Definitely one way to do it. But if you just think just a little, but you can almost be more efficient with it by, not just on your scouts, but on your PMCs. You can kind of like start looking for value on stuff that you can carry out of raid. Now it fluctuates a lot, right? Like it's very, very difficult to make a hard and fast, like, pick this up, you'll make lots of money. There's stuff that's obvious, bitcoins, graphics cards, like that's obvious stuff. But non-obvious stuff is like, let's take a look at this, like this Untar, right? If you get out a raid with Untar armor and you're just wearing this, don't just sell it directly to, you got a Ragman here. Let's see how much it sells directly to Ragman. Here's a full one. It only sells for 24k. It's pretty bad per rule per slot. But if you're walking out of a raid and you're wearing it, you're wearing it on your scav, or you found some, or I don't know, maybe you went for a hatchling run and you picked this up and it's still found in raid. You know, even repaired. Let's see here. Minimum condition. I mean, look, like that's an easy 40K, just kind of like staring you right there in the face. But some people, they're just like, nah, I'm just gonna sell it. It's easier. And there's some merit to selling this kind of stuff. That's strange. It definitely was found in raid before, was it not? Very, very strange. But or maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Anyway, but we're going to sell this. So again, you look for value. Like, it's a good idea to at least habitually check the. Wait, that's might actually be. Is this worth anything on the fleet? I don't think it's bartered for anything now. It's a pretty good idea just to check every once in a while on stuff that you normally sell to traders, and check things like Tarkov Market, tarkov-market.com, to see if, you know, it may hit like a high, an average high, sometime in the middle of the night. Because that's another thing too, is you have to remember it's a player-driven economy. So if, you know, when EU is waking up or is getting on, sometimes the price of goods will go up, right? Like weekends, I found that moonshine goes up quite a bit. So it's actually better to hold on to my moonshine till the weekend to see if it sells better on weekends, right? I can make an extra 30-40K per moonshine profit, which, you know, allows me to, you know, maybe spend, you know, maybe eat a little bit of the cost on like making sugars, right? So you can kind of be smart about some of that stuff. So also trying to hit hideout management 50. I don't think I'm going to hit hideout management 50 elite this wipe. I'm not sure yet when wipe is going to be, but it is likely going to be soon-ish. Although they didn't release an event today. I'm wondering if they're going to do an event this weekend. They were on a good track to have an event almost every single week, but I think the Ododobolos event is still going. Just do another one, I think. Oh man, I did leg day yesterday and it was rough on me. I feel like I love leg day. I love squatting. Squats and deadlifts definitely some of my favorite exercises to do, but man, is it, especially if I haven't done squats in a little bit, it is pretty brutal for recovery. I'm also got a little bit hungry now. Dang it. Do not want. Ooh, quick raid. Oh man. forgot to bring money and a flare this time. Again, I've gotta start being better about that. God, there's so many. I wonder what these errors are. There's state container on state move. Interesting. I kind of wish I knew a little bit of Unity, just to see if, because this game is built on Unity. I'd be interested in knowing kind of like the engine stuff, the very, very crunchy technical stuff that lies underneath this game. I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, it's Unity's trash for multiplayer, yada yada yada. But there's so many games that actually use Unity that people don't expect. Like Hearthstone's made in Unity, right? Like, which that's crazy to me. You know, like you take two games like Escape from Tarkov and then you compare it against Hearthstone. I mean, that's nuts that those two games are built on the same exact engine, right? Hearthstone's like kind of like I guess for anybody who doesn't know, Hearthstone is a is it a trading card game? I guess it is a trading card game that Blizzard developed and released. I was actually pretty hard into it for a little bit. So a card game and this game, both built in Unity, both wildly successful. So it must be doing something's being done right, right? All right, where are we at? Collapsed house. Yeah, collapsed house. I don't know if that spawn can spawn behind me. We're about to find out. What's in here? What's in here? There's a spawn over that way. I'm kind of interested in knowing. I'm interested in knowing if that spawn can be here at the same time. I don't hear anything. Gap checkpoint, underpass. I think one really neat thing about this map is it's got a very nice flow to it. It's just got a very nice flow to it. Like, the way that this is going to take me, you know, you start at cinema, which is on the right side, and you basically go up. I just loot along the way. There's more than enough loot that I actually think that you could. Okay. There's enough loot that you can kind of almost. You almost never, like, you could very easily rat on this map and never see basically anything, and still get out with probably with a full bag. To be honest with you. I think that's needed for a gunsmith pass. Usually scavs around here. Can we go into this? Nope. I don't hear anything. Some weird raids. Kind of weird raids so far. What closes behind us? Listen, nothing. Wires sell decent. These are okay in terms of value. DVDs. Yeah, we already talked about the DVD drives. Not a porn shoot room. Could be, I don't know. How dare you? Calling it a porn shoot room. I think some max energies are actually kind of a weird value item. Sometimes they sell for quite a bit. I've caught them selling upwards of 20k sometimes. It's really weird. I know at one point, so get out of there. The porn shoot room? I don't understand. What am I getting out of? Whoops. Pinewood? That's where we gotta go. Shoot again, please, so I can get info. Did you see? I don't know about that. I hear something. I'm almost sure I hear something. I don't think that's towards Pinewood. Anyway, back to max energies. They go kind of weirdly in value. Sometimes they'll go up to 20k. They probably went up actually recently due to Glorious E talking about how he used them to increase his immunity because he's a madman. There's sometimes vodka and like liquor and stuff in here. I think one time I found a lion on the ground. No. I don't know if I could ever do porn, baby. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't know if I could ever act, like, be in a porn. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like it's one of those things where you know, you get like performance anxiety, right? Like it's cold in here. Hey, Whitey. Shut up, don't look at it. Don't look at me. They do a lot of drugs too, and I'm not like, you know, I'm not a like, you know, whatever. Like, if you like drugs, you like drugs. But I have like, oh, that scared the shit out of me. I am just not the type of person to really like be into drugs, you know? I'm just like, you know, I'm not, you know, I did my time with them. You know, not like I'm completely innocent. It's not like I don't understand. It's like, no, I get it, but I just... What is that? If it starts running, I know what it's going to be. We're going to assume it's a player. Give me more info. It walked on wood. I think it's a scav. I think it's a scav. I hear lots of scav comms around me. Am I right? Which is out here. I swear to God, these things are just running at me. I do not like that these scavs are just full sending down hallways. It seems strange. Something out here. Now, potential problem is that Phyllis spawns over here.
Вон он, блядь! Ебать!
Oh God! What are you? Why? Game's a horror game. This is a horror game. Can we leave now? I'd like to leave now. I have a bag full of loot. Bye. Don't shoot me, please. See, that was like... That was not that bad. Like the... What I mean about like the flow of this map is just really... It feels so natural. Like I didn't have to... You know, like... I feel like Woods is kind of like the worst offender of it. You'll spawn halfway north of the map. And you go... And it's just like, hey... Immediately go like... 300 meters south. And there's your extract. I'm like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Hey, make sure you like the stream. Everybody like the stream. Press the thumbs up button. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yep. Pretty good. Got a decent... We got marked room loot. Please like the stream. Yeah, I get a decent amount of loot. Starting to run out of space again. SA 58. This is the juice cannon. Dump that in there. Oh, it's enchanted. Reduced weapon spread. And what we're talking about with max energies is basically, so there's an interesting stat in this game called immunity. Let's see, where is it? Immunity, here we go. And this is a really interesting stat. I never knew that I've never seen anybody with the elite skill of it, which is at level 51. But Glorious E got it, and it's actually kind of busted. Apparently, whenever you have maximum immunity, you have a chance to basically completely nullify the negative effects of anything, right? So, like, there are certain stims in the game where if you pop the stim, you get you basically you become like Superman, but you take extra damage, right? I think Obodobolos 1, the original one, does that. But if you have max immunity, you just straight up like you basically only a 10% chance to get the downsides, and you get stuff like, and I think you get like certain upsides, like in this, like I think for Glorious E, he just straight up just recovers HP about as fast as, maybe a little bit faster than having a Propital, which is hilarious. Because he basically doesn't need to bring in meds. He just brings in bleed heals. So like he'll bring in a bandage and a Calic B, and that's it. Otherwise it's you know, he just runs bleed meds, and that's it. And I never knew it did that. He's probably the first person I've seen that actually hadn't used it, and it was pretty ridiculous. It feels like it's pretty busted to have, which most elite skills are pretty busted to have to begin with, but I feel like that one is like, oh, this is not balanced, is it? Which, you know, Tarkov is definitely not necessarily a game that is balanced, so it makes a little bit of sense that you're like, unfair skill in the game? Of course. Need to repair that. Oh man, I'm tired. This might be the last one for the night. I'm getting to that point. Oh, everything is sore and I need to eat. I had some banana bread earlier that my wife made. It was very, very tasty. But I need real food. I think I'm gonna try to make some teriyaki chicken. I gotta cut up some. We have some leftover chicken that needs to be kind of used up. And I think it'd be good with. Found a teriyaki chicken recipe that I think I'm gonna make some sauce and then toss the chicken in. I think it'll be good. I'm interested in knowing what's going to happen whenever this game wipes, though. I really, really think we're trending towards kind of an interesting inflection point for this game, where basically I think the technical problems have become so bad enough that if they don't fix it, I think within, I think they're definitely making strides and they're definitely trying, and I think they must have gotten some sort of help in order to start shoring up their technical issues and getting, trying to pay back that tech debt that they've had for so many years. But I really think if they don't fix a lot of these technical issues and kind of start doing a lot more polish, we'll have, there will be, basically it's going to be almost impossible to play the game, just because like there's just so much. Like the technical issues just kind of continue to crop up here and there. Some of them are minor, some of them are relatively minor, but some of them like audio, weird like item bugs. Like I've watched a couple of, I watched Dr. Lupo during the day, and I feel like the amount of times that they've had issues with that squad has had issues with item bugs is like it's alarmingly high. It would really, really suck to see this game die just purely because, like, they were, there's some reasons that, it's almost on a, with games, especially game development and the gaming landscape now, I never want to root for a game to fail, but not every single game is going to succeed, but it especially sucks whenever a game has such great ideas and has a good core concept and you feel like it's 75% there, but then there's like some technical aspects of it that are just difficult to swallow. Like this one, it's the problems with this game it's not necessarily mechanical problems. Like it's all technical stuff. And I think the funny part is I don't necessarily know if there are companies that would be able to do it better. I mean, Warzone's trying, but it's not even, it's kind of gone down. I don't think I see anybody talking about DMZ. The Cycle Frontier is about to close. Marauders is still in early access, and it's got a lot of, it still needs to be polished for sure. And it also just doesn't, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have, it's not quite as, it doesn't feel quite as impactful. Dr. Disrespect's game looks like it's in the same vein, but it's not quite. It's not quite... It's a little more arcadey. Not quite as... Definitely not quite as... Doesn't have quite the amount of impact as this game. They're getting somewhere, though. I was watching this stuff today. I think if you're still in the chat, I watched some of the stuff today for the new snapshot, and it's really coming along. It's looking more and more like something I definitely want to check out and want to give it a try. Where is everybody?
Служивый! Дерьмо, сука, падла! Иди сюда, мерзавец! Тут наших бьют!
There we go. It's underneath, I think. Coming this way? Yeah, and I think, like I said, I feel like everybody criticizes this game for like not having gone anywhere in the amount of time that they've had to develop. But it's like, are you sure? Like, I feel like this game is... Like, what is the difference between this game now and what would be 1.0, realistically? Is it anything at all? Something that way. Towards pig. Like, they could very easy... I feel like there's some days where I play this game and I feel like they could just release it. And it'd probably be okay. There's something definitely towards pig. I think people are starting to hop on and play. Do we camp this? I feel like we should camp it. This shooter from the window. And there's still nothing like this game. Like, this game's still... Like, there is nothing... There's still yet to be anything that has replaced the feeling of dropping a guy in this game. Ooh. Can be the shooter on top. Can be the shooter on top of the building. I don't want to... Almost kind of want to, like, sit here and see if we can clap somebody. Yeah, the dead drop stuff looks, The dead drop stuff looks good. Like, it's kind of slowly... I think with, like... You know, a lot of it's still... Like, some of the animations are in place. Some of the, Some of the stuff is in place, and I think it'll be... I think it'll probably be a little bit while longer to see what, where they kind of, like, which side of the shooter they'll kind of fall on. Like whether or not it's going to be a little bit more chunky or it's going to be pretty arcadey. I know Dr. Disrespect is really into the arcadey style of playing. Hey, what's up, Seth? Oh shit! I looked away and I got shot at. I have no idea if that was a scav or not. That scared the crap out of me. Yeah, I think a player was looking up here. Okay, how are we gonna play this? Because I'm interested in. Maybe that was just a scav. Maybe it was a sniper scav that shot at me. Ooh. What's happening? Things are shoosting. This week, Seth. I've been thinking about doing it for a while, but I finally kind of started to kind of get the stuff together and start getting the software together and start messing with settings. A hearing. I started getting the stuff together. I've streamed before, but it was pretty like pretty specific streams for like raid content. Are they in this building? Can't go anywhere in this building. There's definitely something. My God, I don't know what that is. Maybe Lexos? Actually in here. A lot of neat stuff. Oh, hey, look, another grizzly. Feels fine. A lot of scabs. I mean, I'm just kind of. But they've slowly been they increased the amount of scavs on here, so you just kind of like, especially if you are on the raid for a long time. A lot of scavs, you know. I think one time I got out with like 15 or 16 scavs just on like a short stroll. That is close. I don't know where that is. I don't want to just sit and wait and see if I can. Where is that? Go this way and head towards Pig. I think they're in Pig. It's this, yeah, it's the customs was like that. That's strange. That's a strange one. I mean, It's been okay for me. Like, granted, I'm not running a dual piece. I'm not running a dual setup yet. So I'm recording and I'm technically recording and streaming. I had to lower my bit rate and my quality settings for my recordings. It's been okay. I definitely don't like that I've been getting... Ooh, I thought that was a guy. I definitely don't like that I've been getting below 60 on streets a couple times. But on the flip side, there's a lot of scavs. I don't know if they've started increasing the amount of scavs on the other maps. I definitely feel like I've been kind of running woods every once in a while, or at the start of the stream, and woods definitely feels like is a lot more populated with scavs. Guy over here. That's a big squad. That's a big squad. I heard 3 sets of footsteps. We might die here. Oh, we are super gonna die here. They're all in pig. Did they hear me? They might have heard me. They're legit, like, right there. In that stairwell. Kind of trapped here too. I guess I could break right. They might have gone up into the second stories, but they can look down into the streets. I think the scarier part is I don't hear them anymore. Yeah, I don't hear them anymore. I don't know if they ran past or not. Oh, there they are. Oop, they would have heard that. Oh, they hear me. They're like right there too. All right. I have to run out. Loop around. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to take a 3-man in there. I have to go around for sure. They must have gotten into a fight with another squad. I wonder if that's all the shooting that we heard earlier.
Э!
Come on, give me information, please. Anything? More shooting, running, anything. God's yelling. Literally anything, please. How many times did I shoot him? Or did I shoot the... Did I hit him? He looked like he had a slap plate on. Is that Jordan? Manding. Oh, that's not a good name. Did I hit you at all? I have no idea if I hit you at all. Hit count. 18. 31. Maybe I hit him? Really? Huh. Huh. 855? That's it? Hold on. That felt weird. That felt really weird. He was... Sorry, I'm just watching my replay. What did I hit? He hit me all the times in the chest. I don't know. That felt really weird. I don't really know. I don't really know what to do there. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. That was a really, really strange that was a strange interaction. I don't know what I did wrong there. I saw him and I fired first. I don't know if I just missed a whole bunch of shots. I feel like I was right on him and he just hit me a bunch of times in the chest with them 855. I guess they did up the blunt damage. I was just, oof. I thought I had enough DPS I was going to take him down. That is a shame. I'm just chatting with Jordan real quick. Yeah, hold on. We're gonna pull this up real quick. We're gonna watch this back. I don't know. I really don't feel good about that. I really don't feel good about that. I have no idea what I did wrong. Let's see. Let's see, student. All right. So. So this is the run. Go. And we clap the scav here. I come in here. Kind of checking for we're looking for information. I'm trying to, because I'm worried, like right here, I'm worried about that 3-man, because I'm almost sure that they heard me either ADSing or like clomping around. And so I wanted to figure out what the hell was going on there. So I start moving this way because I didn't get any information. So I start moving this way and I spot this thing moving like There, right there. I got first shots on him. And apparently he just... I don't know. I don't know here. It's so weird. And it's... I don't know anybody... I don't know very many PMCs who wear a slap plate. And that looked like a big old backpack. That is a... I'm almost... That's either like a slap plate or an exfil. I guess he could have aim punched me, but yeah, I don't know very many PMCs who wear that kind of gear and then run 855. And I'm pretty sure that was like an M4 or an HK, probably an M4. I think an HK probably would have killed me faster. That's so weird. I don't. So this is a rough time. We're gonna end on this kind of on this because it looked like Jordan wanted to play, but I think he is about to hop off for the night. Because it sounds like Seth. Yeah, we all had a pretty rough night. Yeah, it looks like everybody had a rough night. I think this is another night I've survived two. I've survived 1 out of 3 raids in a row. One of them was like I was running a meme kit with a fucking Saiga. So that's, or not a Saiga, the PP19. So that's, you know, whatever. But anyway, going back to, oops. Going back to the game. Kind of talking about this is kind of like a rough subject to cover in this game. Is that's the kind of stuff that is consistently the kind of stuff that you kind of look at with this game and you go, I don't know what I did wrong there, right? Sometimes you just don't. There's nothing to kind of get from your death / you know, whether you got wiped like that or I'd almost rather him have tapped me in the head, because then it'd be less confusing. At least if he tapped me in the head, you know, I'd be like, oh, there's nothing I can do. You know, there's just, it went into my eyes. The bullet went into my eyes. So, you know, it happens. But that one, I saw him for, you know, I shot him first. 2, I could have sworn I hit him first. 3, he just kind of like, despite me almost like getting the first shot, shooting first, and I'm pretty sure I hit him, he just nails me in the chest with 855. Like, that's, you know, beginning wipe ammo. And it's such a weird thing. And of course, there's no kill cam. There's no way for me to look at. There's no way for me to tell if he was cheating, if he was just a really, really, like, maybe he's running a meme kit. Maybe that's why he's kitted to the, he looked like he's a, you know, he's thick as shit and is running 855. Like, I don't know. Like, we can't, I don't even, you know, you technically can't even see his gun. I mean, he could have been running an ADAR for all I know, but it sounded like an M4 or something. But yeah, it was weird. Yeah, Seth, I was messaging Jordan. He said that he was having, he said that it seems like everybody's had a rough night tonight. He said he got clapped pretty bad. So, I don't know. That's Tarkov, I guess. I really am looking forward, or hoping that there's going to be kind of additional quality of life things, like, you know, an end of raid report that is more detailed. No, I'm not buying that. That is easier to tell what exactly happened, easier to figure out what you could have done wrong, right? Because I'm all for a game being tough, but I think one of the things that would really benefit this game is just giving you more ways to learn from your mistakes. Because otherwise, you're kind of, you know, especially for someone like me who does learn by their mistakes, having an after action report and having a better way to tell what happened in my raid would benefit a lot for me, and at least make me less salty, right? There'd probably be a whole lot less salty players if they revealed a lot more of that stuff. And it's interesting too, because I don't necessarily know if they ever plan on doing it, maybe, you know, my hope is that they've been doing a lot more quality of life and tech patches recently, so they obviously understand that there's a problem, and that means that they need to do something about it. But yeah, there's, I don't know, it's always those fights are always the ones that are so weird to me. You know, I love long drawn out fights, you know, where you're rotating around, you're moving around, especially if you're with friend, you know, if you're playing with a squad. I think it's really, really cool to be able to coordinate and kind of get out clean. Everybody's alive at the end of the day, and you kind of all walk out with a little bit of something. You know, it's always a good feeling to have. But then you have those interactions, right, where you just like, what in the world happened there? It makes you wonder whether or not why you're still playing this game. But the answer is ultimately is that, like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna forget that one, and I'm gonna load this game back up again tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow. Which, heads up, I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, just because I do need to go and train. It's been a couple days, or it's been quite a while since I've been able to train. And my wife was kind enough to okay me going out to train on Wednesdays. Anyway, I think that's probably where we're going to drop it for the night, so I can get some sleep and hopefully get some good sleep tonight and not get woken up in the middle of the morning whenever I should still be sleeping in. And hopefully I will catch you guys if I get back home early enough. Maybe I might stream a little bit. Kind of depends. I usually get back home late from training, but we'll see. But either tomorrow night I will stream probably for at least an hour, or, you know, I'll catch you guys on Thursday. But you guys have a good rest of your night, and I hope you learned something today. Bye now.